Morning, Patrick. How have things been for you big engines?
Going smoothly, Sir Handel. Are you and your friend still cleaning up from that storm a couple of days ago?
Unfortunately, yes. Rusty got delayed helping some workmen clean up, so our controller asked me to look after this special load you're bringing in.
I see. I suppose you've all got to do your part.
Ideally, yes. So, what is this special load of yours anyway?
That would be me, Falcon.
Oh, hello, Atlas. Atlas? What are you doing here? I mean, I'm pleased to see you, but...
You thought I was gone?
Well, yes.
It's a bit of a long story.
Just let me shut you into the siding, Atlas. Then I'll leave you two to catch up.
Thank you, Patrick. So then Blister 1 told Mr. Hat about it, and he arranged for your controller to purchase and restore me.
So here you are.
So here I am. You know, the strangest part was actually laying eyes on those Arlesdale engines. I mean, after just knowing them by voice for so long. Do you know, their truck is only half the gauge of ours.
Really? Engines that small? I didn't think that was possible.
Neither did I, but there they were.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're ready to move you to the workshops, Atlas.
Righto.
Hold on, stop! Sorry, Sir Handel, we just heard word Rusty's coming in. Once he's clear, you'll be free to shun Atlas to the workshops.
Very well. Did you have to cover one of Fred's trains again?
You think any engine could handle half a dozen trucks of rubbish? Well, apparently not.
He got sick again?
Yes, of course, I had to cover for him. I couldn't just leave these up at Glennock. Just between us, Sir Handel, I'm beginning to get tired of this. I'm picking up Fred's slack because it's what needs to be done, but every engine has limits.
I've heard talk like that before. It didn't end well.
Who are you?
My name's Atlas. I'm a friend of Stuart, Duke and Falcon.
Atlas. I've heard of you. Rusty was just talking about you a few months ago.
That would have been with Mr. Charles Hat, wouldn't it?
Yes, he was interviewing us about the Mid-Sodor Railway. Hold on, Atlas. What did you say a few moments ago? You've seen this before?
Yes, I have.
When was that? I don't recall anything like that happening on the Mid-Sodor. I mean, Andreas was the most trying engine we had, but he wasn't lazy. Nor was Stanley, for that matter.
This is on my tramway between Craigweir and Harwick.
But you just told me you were the only engine on your tramway.
Oh, I'm not talking about engines, Falcon. My tramway was not a common carrier. I only carried zinc traffic down to the harbour, as well as the workmen back and forth. The roads around that area weren't too good, so most goods between Harwick and Craigweir were moved on river barges by tugboats.
River barges? I didn't know tugboats could look after those. I thought they only worked in harbours, shunting bigger ships around, that sort of thing.
That is a large part of their duties, but they're versatile vessels, Rusty. You see, the tugboat, for its size, is the most powerful craft afloat. Droller than 10 cents with the power behind the docks and waterways of Harwick and Craigweir. This is the story. $10 was a hard-working tug, always willing to do what was needed. Drollan, well, tended to take advantage of this. He wasn't so motivated, you see. Things came to a head-on one week in the summer of 1951. One summer morning, I arrived at the Harwick harbour with a full load of zinc. I found the ship awaiting me had been left in a bit of an awkward position. Hold on, I'll just shunt these into place. While I went to move the empty trucks out of the way, the ship's crew decided they weren't going to wait. Unfortunately, this left me trapped by the trucks. What are you doing?
What does it look like? We're loading the zinc.
But your ship's in the wrong position. Leaving the trucks there means I can't move out. We have to get back to Crigweir.
This is where that tugboat put us.
Are you sure? I've not seen ships load from that position before.
Well, you're on a tugboat, are you?
Oi! There's no call for that! Atlas is right. Where you are isn't even a proper berth. You'll need to stop loading while I put you in the right position.
But we've got a schedule to keep.
So do I.
It was the other tugboat who put you there, wasn't it?
Drollen? Yes.
Did he tell you to load from there?
Well, no, but...
Then you'll need to be positioned properly.
Look, we've already started.
Would you prefer that I get the harbour master involved? He doesn't take kindly to ships causing delays.
Alright, you've made your point.
Thanks, 10 cents. I've really got to be going, I'm afraid.
Don't worry about it, Atlas. I hope you weren't delayed too long.
I headed off quickly after that. My manager back in those days ran a tight operation. I later learned that 10 cents was in a bit of a hurry too. Seems I wasn't the only one who had been delayed by that incident. 10 cents had to take some barges up to Crigweir. He knew he was running late and had to fight the river's current to try and make up time. He met Drollen just outside Crigweir.
Running late again, 10 cents. You really need to lift your game.
I'd be on time if someone had positioned the hot nail correctly. They started loading from where you'd left them and trapped Atlas.
I didn't tell the crew to load from there.
Well, you didn't wait to reposition it after Atlas had arrived either. I had to do your job for you again!
Well, it shouldn't have taken you that long anyway.
Oi! I ain't done with you!
To add insult to injury, Drollen had only been towing one of the small barges. As 10 cents later told me, this was typical of Drollen. He was always trying to minimise the amount of work he had to do. Hello again, 10 cents. Have you had a good voyage upstream?
Mostly, yes.
Thank you again for sorting out that mess at Harwick. I explained it to my manager.
It wouldn't be the first time. Let's hope Drollen gets the message this time.
That got me worried. I had known 10 cents to get annoyed before on occasion, but it seemed to me that these occasions were now becoming more and more frequent. Are you alright, 10 cents? I mean, speaking as a friend, you have seemed a bit stressed lately.
It's that Drollen. You see these barges here?
Those ones waiting to go down? Yeah.
He was meant to take 2 of them. He's just as capable of taking them as I am, yet he's left them here for me to deal with.
This isn't the first time he's done this, is it?
Exactly. I don't think he's ever taken one of the larger barges. He'll just take the small ones, then leave me the heavy lifting. To be perfectly honest, I'd much rather be working with Zoran and his lot again.
Zoran? Wasn't he that tugboat who was always trying to undermine you in the other star tugs? At least that's what I think you've told me.
The Z-Stacks may have been devious, but when it came to their work, they actually did it. In fact, most of their schemes were to steal work from us. Here, I've been picking up Drollen's slack. It needs to be done to keep things moving, but even I've got my limits.
How do you mean?
All this extra work does take its toll on my engine. You know, I've had to go for maintenance a lot more than Drollen has.
I understand.
I'll just have to make sure he does his jobs from now on.
Good luck, 10 cents. As I headed for the zinc mine, I couldn't help but worrying about 10 cents. It wasn't fair that he was bearing the brunt of the river work. I knew my manager would be speaking to the harbour master about the delay at Harwick Harbour earlier, and I thought that maybe he could say something about this too. Sure enough, my manager was waiting for me when I finished my run.
Atlas, I'll be heading down on your return train to meet the harbour master at Harwick. Before I do so, I'd like to hear exactly what happened this morning.
I quickly explained what had happened.
I see. I'll ask the harbour master to keep his tugboats in order.
With respect, sir, only one of them needs to be kept in order. From what I've seen, 10 cents is doing his fair share and more.
Is that so?
Indeed, sir. I told my manager about the conversation I just had with 10 cents. He was looking concerned by the time I'd finished.
Don't worry, Atlas. I'll put this to the harbour master.
Thank you, sir. As it turned out, that conversation had also got 10 Cents thinking. He'd just needed to get his thoughts in order, and our conversation had done exactly that.
10 cents! Where is that other large barge?
Where you left it, in Craigweir.
Really, 10 cents? You were supposed to bring that barge down here.
Well, that's strange. I wasn't given those orders by the harbour master. I distinctly remember him telling you that was your job.
I was running this harbour before you got here during the war. That makes me senior of us, and I can delegate.
You've been doing nothing but delegating since I got here. That stops now.
10 cents!
I've not even seen you towing one of the large barges.
Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
If that's the case, then there must be a lot I'm not seeing!
Are you insinuating that I do nothing?
Something close to it. You didn't even wait to position the hartnell correctly this morning.
I had other things to do.
Were they urgent enough for you to leave a job half done?
Well,
I thought not. Now, you've got barges to collect at Craigweir.
But I'm needed to look after the ships in the harbour here.
I will look after the harbour. You need to go and do the job you were supposed to do in the first place.
10 Cents didn't give Drollin a chance to reply. With no other option, Drollin began heading upriver. He knew that if he didn't bring those barges back, the harbour master would start asking questions. What Drollin didn't know was that the harbour master would have questions for him anyway. He'd overheard every word of conversation between the two tugboats. Later on that day, 10 Cents found the harbour master waiting for him when he brought a ship in.
10 cents, can I have a word?
It'll have to be quick, sir. I'll be needed on the other side of the harbour shortly.
I was going over the harbour records, and noticed that you've been in for maintenance a lot more than Drollin has. I was going to ask you about this, then I overheard your argument. I will be having a word with Drollin, and I'll be sending you to the Isle of Man for a full overhaul. They have some good shipbuilders there.
Why, thank you, sir.
I can't believe I didn't spot this earlier. Why didn't you say something?
I think Drollin just gradually pushed his work off onto me. It took me a while to notice myself.
Well, as you said, it stops now.
I'm glad to hear it. Thank you, sir.
While this had been going on, Drollin had been making his way upriver. I didn't know it at the time, but his earlier conversation with 10 Cents had put him into a right state.
I'll show that 10 cents. Do nothing but delegate, huh?
There were 3 barges waiting at the dockside, and Drollin decided to use them to make a point. Are you trying to take all 3 of those barges at once?
Of course! Why else would I arrange them like this,
I'd seen 10 Cents working with these large barges. They were quite heavy, even when empty. Are you sure that's a good idea? I've not seen 10 Cents sink more than 2 of them.
I think I'd know a bit more about handling barges than a train like you.
If you say so. I wasn't going to argue with Drollin. I'd tried it before with no luck. I tried to warn him. That was pretty much all I could do. Drollin left a few minutes after I did, taking all 3 of the barges with him. I understand that with the river's current flowing the same direction as him, he had an easy trip, at first. Further downstream, the river narrows slightly, and the current moves faster. Drollin hadn't accounted for this. Pushed by the faster current, the barges bumped against his stern and each other.
I'd better pick up the pace.
Unfortunately, Drollin overreacted. He surged forward too quickly.
Oh, no.
By the time Drollin stopped to check his barges, they were already out of control. They began picking up speed, heading straight for the bridge carrying my tramway.
That's Atlas! I've got to warn him! Atlas! Look out, Atlas! Atlas!
Driver! We can't stop in time! My only hope was to make it across. Driver opened my regulator and I surged forward as hard as I could. had just made it across. The bridge was completely gone. Manager, guard, are you alright?
We're okay, Atlas.
I was glad to hear it. My manager and guard have been riding in the brake van and they could have been injured.
You there, Drollen.
What?
Don't just sit there. Go and get help. We've got to stabilise this bridge and get it rebuilt.
Yes.
3 barges at once. I did try to warn him.
I know. I overheard you.
We were waiting for a while, then both 10 cents and Drollen arrived.
Atlas, are you alright?
Yes, I got clear just before the barges hit.
Good. 3 barges at once, Drollen. What were you thinking?
Well,
If you'd actually handled these larger ones before, you'd have known they can be tricky.
I suppose so.
Drollen, get those barges clear and take them back to the harbour. I'll talk to you later. 10 cents, can you position your barge near the riverbank? I've got workmen coming from Craigweir and Harwick to start clearing up. We'll use it for the debris.
Certainly, sir. Atlas, I think I saw some of your trucks down at Harwick. Could you help with clearing some of the wreckage?
Of course, if my manager agrees, that is.
You might as well, Atlas. We'll need that bridge repaired before we can run any more trains down from Craigweir.
I headed off to fetch the trucks. What I hadn't seen as I departed was that the harbour master had come ashore and was talking to my manager. Over the next few days, 10 cents and I worked hard to rebuild the bridge. We and the workmen put in a good effort, and before long the bridge was back up. But that wasn't the end of it. While the bridge was being rebuilt, zinc was still being mined up at Craigweir. I had quite a bit to bring down, but I wasn't complaining. It was a few more days before things got back to normal. Well, mostly normal. Shortly after the accident, Drollen had been confined to the harbour, where the harbour master could keep an eye on him. 10 cents, meanwhile, was permanently assigned to upriver work. 10 cents found that arrangement a lot less stressful. I was glad to see him relax too.
I can imagine.
Now, I hope you don't think me impertinent, Rusty, but both 10 cents and Drollen let their feelings get the better of them, and Drollen didn't take the time to establish all the facts.
I understand that, but I'm not sure how it applies to my situation.
You did seem pretty angry when you arrived here. I'd just like to ask, can you honestly say that you do know all the facts of this situation with Fred, and that you are not letting your emotions get the better of you?
Those are good questions.
Come on, Rusty. We're ready for those trucks you've got.
I'd better get going. It was nice to meet you, Atlas. Thank you for telling me your story.
You're welcome, Rusty. I'm looking forward to working with you.
So am I.
Hope the hustle will be empty by then.